All right, my amazing students, you have made it through another chapter, and it is time to show me how smart you really are. So we're going to go over the Chapter 5 study guide. So first, within the first 2 minutes, I'm going to show you all the answers to the study guide. So the first page is just a bunch of graphs. So here's what graph 1 and 2 should look like. Graphs 3 and 4 should look like. Graphs 5 and 6, all right? So now we're going to turn to page 2. And on page 2, there's your answers. It basically reads it says no, yes, no, -6, 9, -3, 7, -15, -5, and 2, 4, right? The third page is going to be the slope is 2/4. Or -1/2. The slope is 0. The slope is -1/2. The slope is 1/7 if you can't read that. And then number 18 has a slope of 3/4. And then the last page is we have a bunch of equations for lines. So we have y equals 5x minus 3, y equals 3x minus 7, y equals -1x minus 7, and 22 says slope, 23 says a and b, 24 says -3x minus 4, and 25 says -4x minus 10. So hit pause during any time to make sure that you get those copied down. But now that you have all the answers, let's look at this real quick. Oh, it's hard to read, so let's zoom in on it. Here we go. Give it a second. I do not know what's going on with my camera. Let's see. Oh, there you go. Took a while. No work, no credit. So don't forget that. If you don't show any work, you get absolutely no credit on this study guide. The answers are there so that you can check your work. So don't show me your study guide with my answers. Show me work. No work, no credit. So I'm going to hit pause right there, and I'm going to start going over the first part of the study guide. All right, so here is page 1. As you can tell, page 1 has 6 graphs. And I don't care how you graph it. You have 3 methods to choose. You can use the table method. You can graph using intercepts, or you can use my favorite, y equals mx plus b, which is the slope-intercept form, which I'm probably going to use the most. So let's look at number 1. Well, number 1, I'm going to zoom in, appears to already be in my y equals mx plus b. So I'm going to write that right above it. Y equals mx plus b. And then I'm just going to line it up. So my b is the 3, and my slope is 1/4. So I know that b equals 3, and my slope is 1/4. Now remember, that's positive, so it's going to be up 1 and over 4, right? So what does b mean? That's my y-intercept. So here's my y-axis. And I'm going to go to number 3. So 1, 2, 3. I'm going to put a dot right there. That is my y-intercept. That's why we use it. And then I'm going to use my slope. My slope says up 1 over 4. So 1, 2, 3, 4. Up 1. I'm running out of room. So if you run out of room, go back to your y-intercept and count down. So I'm going to do the opposite. I'm going to go down 1, but backwards. 1, 2, 3, 4. And it looks like I'm going to run out of room there too. I can't count down and 4 over. So remember, the y-intercept is always where you start. B for beginning. I take my ruler, or you can take your ID card and draw your line. Make sure you draw your line all the way through the graph. But this is why I like the y equals mx plus b format. All right, number 2. All right, looks like it's also in the y equals mx plus b format. Let's double check. Y equals mx plus b. Sure is. There's my slope, -3. There's my y-intercept of a -2. So my y-intercept is -2. My slope is, now watch, -3. I'm going to put it over a 1. Okay, you see how I put it over a 1? So because it's negative, it's going to go down, but still goes over. You see how it goes in the same direction as the positive bottom? Right? See? There you go. The negative should only apply to the top. All right, so again, go to -2. So -2 is on the y-axis is right here. There's my beginning point. And then I'm going to go down 3. So 1, 2, 3 over 1. I'm out of room again. So when you run out of room, just reverse it. So I'm going to go 1, 2, 3. I'm going to go up. But now I have to actually go backwards when you reverse it. 1, 2, 3 backwards. 1, 2, 3 backwards. And I would do dots all the way through. Take your ruler. Draw. So number 2 and number 1, are done just by using my y-intercept, right? So now we got to look at number 5. Number 3, and that's a weird one. All right. So if you ever see x equals right here, vertical line, which basically means up and down. If x equals 5, well, this is what it means. Go to 5. So here's my x-axis. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Here's 5. You put a dot, but if everything equals 5, guess what? Take your ruler and just make a straight line up and down at x. Okay? Look how easy that one was. All right, now, number 4. Now, number 4 says y equals -4. Now, we know that basically y and x are opposites. So if x equaled meant a straight line up and down, what do you think y is? That's right, you smart individuals. It means it's going to be a flat line at -4. So I'm going to go to, on my y-axis, I'm going to go to a -4. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4. Here's my -4. And then I'm just going to put a flat line right here. All right, so if it says y equals something, it's a flat line. And let's not forget some little tiny other interesting facts is what's the slope of a vertical line? Remember, the slope of a vertical line is undefined. And the slope of a flat line is 0, right? Undefined and 0 are not the same. All right, so now let's go to the bottom 2. Now this one is not, I'm going to zoom in on number 5. Number 5 is not in y equals mx plus b. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to graph this by intercepts. And the reason why is because I'm going to use this space right here is if I rewrite it like that, remember the x-intercept means I get to keep the x and I ditch the y. So if I keep the x, I have 3x equals 12. So 3x equals 12. And on the y-intercept, I keep the y. And the y is on this one, 4y equals 12. Now this is why I like it. This one, I'm viewing the intercepts because if I divide by 3, x equals 4. So as soon as I have my x, I go to my x-axis. 1, 2, 3, 4. Boom, put a dot. On my y-axis, I'm going to divide by 4. And y becomes 3. So I'm going to go on my y-axis. 1, 2, 3. And put a dot. And then, again, draw the line all the way through the graph. So connect these 2 points all the way through. And that's my line for that one. Right? So this one I decided to use the intercepts for number 3. So make sure you do get a good picture of this. All right, moving on to number 6. Now, number 6 looks kind of like 3 and 4, but it's a trick. Because watch me do this. Y equals mx plus b. Well, guess what? There is a number in front of the x. It's a negative sign. So I'm going to zoom in. So I'm going to make sure you can see that. So I got a negative sign. That's my slope. So guess what I can put my slope as? -1. Now, what's the only number in the world that we do not show? +0. So guess what my beginning is? My y-intercept is 0. Now remember, slope should look like a fraction, so I can put it over a 1. But where am I going to start? At 0. What am I going to do? Go down 1 over 1, down 1 over 1, down 1 over 1, down 1 over 1. I think it's pretty much going to be all these dots right here. I can reverse it, reverse the pattern, but now I'm just going to draw my line. All right, so that is page 1 of your study guide. So make sure that you know what you're doing. I'll zoom out a little bit. And there's page 1 and part 1 of the study guide videos. I'll be seeing you in part 2. Have a math-tastic day.